Well, good morning, everyone. It's last meeting of the year finally, huh? So it's the December 16th County Commissioners meeting. We do have a quorum. We'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody have a chance to look at the payroll?
Yes.
Any changes, modifications?
Yes, sir.
I'll move that we approve the payroll.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have the minutes from the December 2nd meeting. Were there any amendments to the meeting minutes?
No.
I'll move that we approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And then we had the claims against the county. Anybody have any questions or concerns on those?
Yes, sir.
No.
I'll move that we approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We have I think we had the treasurer's report and the clerk's report. And
I think I saw one not to.
I was gonna say, here's the treasurer's, I don't know where the clerk, I did have the clerks,
I was gonna say, well, we did have the clerks because I did send them a message on something with that.
because it was rather thick.
The clerk's report has that list of outstanding checks, and I asked her if she wanted us to publish those. There it is right there. Oh, you won't sign it.
We had that on.
No,
No.
Okay.
they're different months. Sometimes they don't get them to me on the,
Anybody have any issues with either of those? Then we'll have the minutes reflect that we reviewed both the clerk report and the treasurer's report. Let's go with Mr. Berg. Are you gonna make a report, or should Mr. Lee can do it?
I've got one little thing and he's got some stuff.
Yeah.
We'll let you three decide who wants to go in.
We're
Our highway reports.
gonna tag team.
Before you get started, I guess, Mr. Berg, congratulations are in order for your award as, what is the official title, Superintendent of the Year?
Superintendent of the Year. Thank you.
Congratulations on that, that's really fabulous. And that was given by the Indiana County Commissioners
County Commissioners
Association, so, good job, thank you.
Thank you. It was a surprise.
It was a surprise. Face was priceless.
Thank you. Yeah, the one item I've got, we've got an item on our inventory that we want to remove. We had an electric heater at the Ferdinand dumpster site that quit working, so we replaced it and got one in there that'll make it nice for the frosty winter. And we're gonna jump this other one, so we'd like to remove it from the inventory.
When you started saying that, you said you were gonna remove something old and replace it? I thought you were going a different direction.
Yeah, one of these.
But if we're talking about the heater, I'm fine to have that replaced, and I'll move that we remove the old heater from the inventory.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay.
So
Where
that
was
can be
that one
disposed.
where was it?
At Ferdinand.
So,
Yeah, so, that's all I had there. I just wanted to say it was a pleasure serving all of you in the county and good luck to the future. Thank you.
thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
I just got a couple of things here that we went over before, but want to remind everybody the sanitation sites, they are usually closed on Wednesdays anyway, and Christmas Day and New Year's Day fall upon that, so we don't have to worry about that. But Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, any of the sites that are open on that Tuesday will be open from 8 to 12 instead of their normal 10 to 6. And then also a reminder of the 2025 or 2024 Christmas party and Steve's retirement. We'll be having Steve's open house retirement from 9 to 11. And then the Christmas party will be from 11:30 to 12. Doors open 11:30, lunch at 12. So that's all I got.
All right.
Thank you.
If you could just send me an email on the site closures, the time changes, and I'll put it on the Facebook page.
So, I'm just saying I have it on the
That's already
website.
on, okay, well,
I
It's
think
on the website on the phone, you can see it there, but.
Chad and Michaela was gonna send it to you this week. We were gonna hold off to send it too far in advance, so we were gonna put it.
sounds good, as long as we get
Yeah.
it, we want the public to know, thank you.
When you open the website, you have a pop-up box.
She has a draft that we made. I said, let's hold off on sending it until we get closer to it, because I hate to be on Facebook and then for several weeks, people forget
I
about it.
think it needs to be closed. They say Facebook, which,
Thank you.
Yeah, she will send it to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We have, first off, transfer appropriations from workman's comp into equipment repair in the amount of $8,000. This will be a transfer, a commissioner's transfer. So it's just one line to another, kind of, I guess, inline, they call them inline transfers, Sandy? Just,
Category.
Yeah.
Category. It's in the category.
So what's the purpose?
yeah, just equipment, trying to keep them up to date. I mean, our equipment repair took a hit this year, a lot of things breaking down, so.
So the transfer will happen within 2024,
Yeah.
and will you use the money in 24, or are you gonna hold it?
Yeah.
Give something that you
Yeah.
need it for? Everybody want to see this? Okay, I'll move that we approve the transfer of appropriation of $8,000.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, freestyle ordinance 2025, the annual freestyle ordinance needs to be set. So it'll be from January 15th to 25 to April 15th to 25. Just protect our roads from freestyle when they're at their weakest, when the grounds are wet and moving. So try to keep the heavy loads off them as much as possible. It will be ordinance 2024-19.
So we've been doing this freestyle ordinance for as long as I can remember, and I think it's a fine idea. Anybody have any questions or issues with it? I move that we approve ordinance 2024-19, the 2025 freeze and thaw ordinance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We'll need a copy of that. In Word preferably.
In Word, preferably. Okay. I will get it to you.
I can copy and paste it.
I can do that. And you want me to scan that as well too, correct? For you need a copy of the sign? Or do you keep it?
I need this one.
Then I'll go over to Marty's and get a copy made of it.
Yeah.
I'll get you a Word, but I'll get a copy. Okay, bridge inspection. So reviewed all of the letters of intent. We had 8 of them. Again, all of them qualified. But I would like to recommend awarding to SJCA because based on the scoring that we had, I sent you guys a scoring tabulation sheet that we had. So that's if it's acceptable with you guys and you guys approve it, then I'll move forward with NDOT, get their approval, and then we'll start contract negotiations and pricing.
And this is for the standard bridge inspection.
Correct.
Not this small, who does small structures?
Small structures I'm gonna do that here in January or February.
Would it be the same people potentially, or you
More.
really don't?
No.
Okay. Anybody have any issues with moving forward with the recommendation of SJCA?
No.
Okay. So I don't think we need to really formally approve anything at this point because you're still gonna be doing some negotiations.
Yeah, I think, you guys give me your consensus to move forward.
That should be
more.
Yeah, move forward whenever you get to somewhere that's formal, we'll approve that.
That'll work.
Anything else for Mr. Wendell? Thank you. let's keep moving here. We've got Rachel Steckler with HWC Engineering.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning.
I just wanted to say hi and introduce myself. Some of you may know me. I was previously with the city of Huntingburg for 10.5 years, served as community development director, newly with HWC Engineering. We are based out of Indianapolis, but we have offices all over the state, but not a strong presence in Southwest Indiana, which is why they hired me. So we do transportation projects, water resources, parks, trails, comprehensive planning. We can help find funding, all of that. So I just wanted to say hello.
So maybe a month and a half ago, Rachel reached out and we just kind of been emailing back and forth a little bit, and I told her about our plans to do a comprehensive plan possibly, and I reviewed some of the comprehensive plans that they have on, or some of the municipalities that they've worked with, some other counties and things. So we just started the conversation, and I thought if she wanted to come in and introduce herself to the whole board, that might be worth doing.
Yeah.
So anybody have any questions for me? So maybe just give us a couple minutes on what does a comprehensive plan look like with HWC? I'll put you on the spot.
Sure, no, that's fine. I think one thing where we are really strong is we believe heavily in community engagement. So there is a lot of community engagement in this process. And how we do that is kind of up to you, whether you want the big in-person meetings, we absolutely can do that, online surveys, that sort of thing. Our team would come down, meet with people from the community, you put a steering committee together, we can help suggest what makes a strong steering committee, you know the people best. So putting together a good steering committee, I think, sets you up for success in the beginning. People who are willing to be out in the community and really, because it's not an easy process. I mean, it's, there's a lot of feedback and a lot of things to go through. You listen to a lot of opinions, and so you really want people on your steering committee who are going to stand behind this and really champion it for you. So.
Every time I read a comprehensive plan or any kind of plan at all, I feel like 55% of it's fluff, and 45% is really actionable, important items. So I think when we get in a little further into looking at a firm to work with, I think that's something I'm hoping to look forward to, that somebody that'll give us, we don't need paragraphs telling us that we were formed in a certain year.
Yep.
But
You want an action plan.
an action plan. I
Yep.
think that's what this board could find useful.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying that just so it's
Yeah.
out there.
That's great.
Anything else you want to share with us?
I mean, just personally, I'm still really involved in the community. I'm on the Alasi board, the tourism board, and the community foundation board. So I am based out of DuBois County. So still here a lot.
So one thing, if we hired your firm, there's nobody except from Indianapolis or north that would come down to work on it.
We have an office in New Albany, so just
Okay.
depending on kind of what it looks like, Terre Haute as well. So there are people, throughout, but
And I'm not putting down your organization
Sure.
because of that, but I'm
Yep.
thinking probably all of the people that would do this kind of work.
Mhm.
I don't know that we have any based here in DuBois County.
Right.
So it'd be fine working it.
yeah. Well, and to be completely transparent, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons with Huntingburg that we didn't work with HWC, because there wasn't a lot of local presence. So that's really my role, is to kind of service that Southwest Indiana liaison for our company. So.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. I don't
Absolutely.
think I have
Thank
any-
you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Yeah,
Thank you.
too.
Okay, so in 15 minutes, we're going to do Swan Bar and Close, but before then, we have a number of miscellaneous items to work on. Have both of you filled in the baptism and contract disclosures?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so we got that taken care of. The extension office they sent us something for a rent. It's not a rental agreement, but Mr. Schneider, have you had a chance to review that again? The memorandum of understanding between SLIDAC and the extension office.
Oh, yes.
Do we need to add any other language to that or continue forward?
I think we're gonna continue forward if the board's agreeable with that.
The only thing that I didn't like about it, and I'll share this, was that item number 6 under the SWICAT card says that they reserve the right to terminate this memorandum at any time for any reason if agreement no longer supports operation and vision of Center on Fifth. So that is a pretty strong statement that they can throw us out at any time for any reason. So I think that'll happen.
Sounds like something we put in ours.
That's right. That sounds like a position of strength that we would prefer on our side instead of their side. So if I was Purdue extension, I wouldn't like that clause.
Well, I did they raise their rent in less than a month's notice.
The other part that I thought was not beneficial for us or puts us at risk, it says, will assume a shared responsibility. This is what Purdue Extension and DuBois County government is agreeing to. Will assume a shared responsibility for any costs associated with the renovation or addition to occupied space or external upgrades.
I don't know what I saw this, Jeff.
So that might be.
She sends it to me every day.
Maybe, do I think it'll change a whole lot of anything if we just agreed to it and went forward? I don't. I think they'll find landlords and we'll be good tenants, but I don't want to put us at any risk. The other thing is the rent has gone up from $800 to $1,000 a month. Still, that's not the part that concerns me. I think that that's a fine
We didn't
amount.
have it for the budget, so we're gonna have to do something with the budget.
We need to table it for
Well, I told her, I said, we can't really sign this agreement until we have the money, which won't be until January.
table it until.
I would hold off on it. I think you saw that. Okay. Anybody else have any questions or issues about this? Anybody read this?
I think,
I have not read it, I didn't see it in the email.
I just think we need to table it for now, especially because Sandy said we don't have it in place to begin with. It's not something that needs to be agreed upon.
So, Mr. Schneider, I would say that unless the board feels differently, I would say that we don't want to agree to any shared responsibility for renovations or additions, especially to the external of the building. That's number 3 on the bottom, or number 6 above, that we terminated at any time.
Okay.
I would say if we're signing an agreement, we should get a year guarantee of, habitability of the facility. Does that sound fair to both of you? I don't want to speak for the whole board.
So I think it's up there. I do have a question somewhat concerning this, that when we moved them over to the center on Fifth, I think we were under the understanding that they'd stay about 2 years, and we were gonna try to find them a different office space. We gotten anywhere on that. Have you heard anything from Chelsea, or I know
No,
Craig was working on it? Okay.
Are they unhappy there?
Well, it was kind of offered to them as a temporary solution. So, it's smaller than what they need. And I know they were looking for a space, but this was available at a good price. And they had all the issues in their own
well, the
basement.
timeline was there for them.
So it just worked as a temporary fix, but I think, we were kind of shopping for something.
We need to reach out to Chelsea.
So I can get.
I'm looking at it, none. I've looked at it, none. And I guess the reason for that for me is if I think they need to do the legwork and make a
Right.
presentation to us.
So they know.
And we would say, yes, that sounds suitable or not. I'm not doing the running around on this particular one myself. But I mean, you have not been anybody shouldn't, so that's
Right.
where I'm standing on that.
I mean, I can reach out to Chelsea and see if they,
Well, and I haven't worked with them, but it was nearly 2 years ago. We looked at
Okay.
some space, but it just kind of
we'll reach out to her.
didn't go anywhere from there. So I just want to make sure that we're
Just-
on top of it.
Just to
So,
touch base with her and see where we're at, see if they got any feelers out there for you.
Did you have a comment?
I mean, the only thing, terminate, the date of termination or get a notice of termination. Because we couldn't move out of there like in, they give us 30 days and
Right.
there's where are we gonna go?
right.
So I mean, it seems like we need 60 days or 90 days of notice of termination.
Did we sign something for a flat out 2-year contract with that?
I think it goes year by year, wasn't it?
We signed one of these about a year and a quarter ago. I looked at it, and it was almost the same document, but, and even this isn't even a lease. This is just more of a, it's a very loose lease. So I just think it needs to be tightened up. So we'll get that on the agenda next time, or the miscellaneous items for, January meeting.
Or reach out to Chelsea and see if they've got any dealers.
I asked her if she could come, and she's gonna go to the January meeting. For the council. And,
Department head meeting.
no, the council, and I told her she's gonna have to get money approved.
All right, this is something I intended to bring up at the previous meeting, and this is about the use of our opioid settlement grant money. So this will be, I'll kind of give you some background, because I'm sure it's probably not top of mind. So, I don't even know how long ago it's been, let's say it's been over a year, maybe a year and a half ago, there was a grant in which the justice portion of the county, that JRAC was filing for a grant, and of that grant, the commissioners and the council agreed to pay 10% of the fund, portion of what was awarded that grant. I think originally we had asked for a grant in the amount of approximately, in memory, it's like $980,000 or something. So the county was going to be on board for nearly $100,000 for this. What we were actually awarded was $460,300. So we, as a county, had to do 10% match of the amount of that grant. So that would leave us with $46,300. And we have to make a decision on how that grant money, our match, is funded. So we can use our matching grant on any of the categories that we applied for on that grant, even if they were denied. So let's say that we asked for money for drug screens, and they said, we're not giving you money for drug screening, but we'll give you money for something else. Another thing that community corrections wanted to get a bike rack and some bicycles for people to come and go to work, and that was one portion that the grantee said, no, they're not allowing that. So if we wanted to spend money on that, we could, for example. But I'll try to summarize this a little bit more. So far, the county has spent $10,000 out of our match, out of the $46,300 that we were required to do. That money was spent on drug tests. Eric, our representative from the consultant that we're working with the JRAC, he offered some different possibilities on how we spend down the match, and we discussed this with the JRAC advisory board. So some of the things that could have done are some MRT, which is a moral recognition training thing, and there were a number of things that we could have used it for. And after discussion, Mr. Kibbe, who's an advisory board member, made a motion as follows: that $21,000 of this remaining money, $21,200, go to community corrections for 2 new positions that they have. $10,000 to the Dove House, and $4,800 to Next Step Recovery House. So that would cover the remaining amount of the money that we have. This money would come from opioid monies that we were given as a municipality from the various drug settlements that have happened.
So JRAC made these motions?
Yes. So JRAC is the one that asked for the grant.
Right.
County agreed to pay 10% of it, and then JRAC, we're pretty far into this grant, spending it down, and they're saying the county needs to spend the remainder of the match. So we've only spent $10,000 of it so far. So they made a motion, or they voted that this is how they wanted to do it. $21,200 to community corrections for 2 positions that they had to help fund those. $10,000 to Dove House, $4,800 to Next Steps, and then so Alex Hole seconded the motion, and I told them that I will present the recommendation to the commissioners, and we get to make the final decision on how to spend the match funds. So I'm a contrarian sometimes, and at the meeting I was the only one that voted against this. So they wanted to spend it, as I've mentioned here, $21,200 for. So I have to check my notes, but we've approved, I believe this is how it is, we've approved 2 new positions, or there. I wanted to put all the money towards those new positions, and then we still have other opioid money we can use for other things, but they wanted to do it this way. So, which is a fine way to do it too, I'm not saying it's a terrible idea, but how do we feel first about giving money to both the Dove House and to Next Step Recovery?
Can you explain to me like what Dove House and Next Steps is gonna do with this money?
I cannot,
And are they,
I guess it would just be for general operations. I
yeah,
did bring a flyer that I have from Dove House that kind of explains what they've done over 2023, what their impact report from, that's their most recent full year. And it looks like they, it cost them $15,000 to serve one woman for a year. So I think it would just be an additional boost in the arm to help keep both of these organizations going.
so it's kind of just a donation?
Yes, just to support these 2 recovery organizations. And I should have refreshed myself on the 2 positions that we're even talking about here. Mr. Kleesner, do you remember what
There's 2 new officers for the evening shift.
they've been approved, they've been funded?
No.
They've not been
In
funded.
January, we were gonna
I
look
have
at
them
it.
on
in
my list for you guys to talk about in January.
For the commissioners to create and for, so, okay, so that's what, I think that's the direction I was going. Thank you for reminding me. I was, in my thought, I said, it'll be a lot easier sell for the county to the county council and the county commissioners if we already have a partial funding mechanism for these positions. It's easier for us to say yes in January to 2 new, they're not jailers, but community corrections staff members. If all of the money went to that, and what I tried to explain to the board was we still have other opioid money that we can still fund Dove House, Next Steps, and then a number of other things if we wanted with that money. So I would be satisfied to do either one of those. That would put a check mark next to us fulfilling our responsibility with this grant, and it goes, either way, it's gonna go towards something positive. So I'd love to hear some input.
21,200 for 2 officers?
As a partial,
I was gonna say that'll get you through.
right, but it's a nice start. It's kind of like a COPS grant, right? You'll get a start. So I mean, actually, if we would have went my way, then it would have been 36,300 total to go towards these new community corrections positions.
How much?
So we started with 46,300 as our 10% match. 10,000's been spent, so we have 36,300 total to go to meet our requirement. So my argument to the board was let's put 100% of it, keep it simple, keep the paperwork simple, put 100% of it towards those community corrections, new positions. They said that they felt better if we split it up and supported Dove House and Next Steps.
Can we give the Dove House the Next Step like 5,000 instead of 10,000 to the Dove and 48 to the Next Step?
We can do whatever we want. I mean, we have a leeway on how these funds are spent.
Because I think the majority of it needs to go to community corrections.
I'm not a big fan of donating our money, like our county tax money to things. And it's one thing when we do it on our annual budget that we've donated to for years. And for, I think of, what's the ride share program?
Mhm.
You know, not that these don't provide some kind of community benefit, because they definitely do. But if all the money goes towards community corrections, then it is, it's a county entity that money's going to, and I think I would prefer that as well.
I think we agree. What I would say though, just for clarity's sake, the funds that we're using aren't funds that came from property taxes, sales tax,
Right,
income
right.
tax. These are monies from drug companies.
Right,
And
but it's still, money's
It
fungible.
is now, yeah, it's now county dollar.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so you're kind of along the same lines that we don't take action today. If we create the positions in January and the council approves it, then we can use the money towards at least for the first year of funding for them. And how do you feel, Commissioner?
I feel the same. I mean, I think the majority of it, if not 100% of it, go to the community corrections.
So I think that's fine, so we'll just say that as a general consensus for today, we don't have to take any action, but I would still be open and happy to hear presentations from Dove House or Next Steps to say, hey, you have opioid money, the requirements of those opioid money are to fight the, what that has done to your community, those opioid dollars, and here's how we could use those to do that. That sound fair to you, Commissioner Onstad?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
All right, well, thank you for that. Okay, we have some bids to open. It's 9 o'clock for swine barn quotes from 4-H Council. Mr. Schneider, will you do that?
I will. It is a singular quote that we received here. The quote is from Hoff Construction out of Ireland.
What was the name? I'm sorry.
Hoff Construction.
Okay.
Their quote, total quote is in the amount of $107,052, 107,052 and 0 cents.
So, Mr. Chair, these were advertised publicly the required amount of times.
They were not advertised. There was quotes solicited from at least 3 potential contractors to gauge their interest, and this was the one that we had received. We had delivered to them a request, an RFP, along with the terms of what we needed done, and the quotes were due today by 9 o'clock.
Does that singular quote seem to be in order?
I'm looking to see what all they have signed off on. There was
Does anybody from 4-H Council or anybody have anything that they'd like to say about the project or where we're at? Or are you just here to hear it?
No, you're right. Was there a bid bond or? No. Okay. Then I believe everything is here that we had requested.
Scott Schnell with 4-H Council. Carson Kaiser, Superintendent of Fairgrounds. Yeah, we were fortunate enough, we needed some repairs on the swine barn, and the council, in 2025, county council funded it for us. So we did solicit quotes, 4 quotes from Cypher Construction, Cramp Lumber, and Jasper Lumber, and Pop Construction as well. And Pops were the one. I did get a phone call last week, Wednesday, from Jasper Lumber, said they could not fit it into their schedule. We've got a pretty tight time constraint. The money's not available till 2025, and then it's got to be done and ready to go 6 weeks before fair. So it's a pretty, scope's not that much, but it's a pretty tight time frame. So that was, that's Jasper Lumber's thought on it, but I mean.
If you solicited this company, then you feel like they would do a good quality job.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think we're pleased with the result. We'd like to move forward with, as long as everything's in order over there, we'd like to move forward with.
So the plan, I believe, would be that we would negotiate the terms of that contract with Pop and have that awarded in, was there a January date we have?
It's the Tuesday after the first commissioners meeting, in case, I don't know, January 7th. I think Monday's the 6th, so you guys, I think, have a commissioners meeting. So, yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
we do the accepting of the bids that day?
I would do them on that date and discuss consensus to go ahead and negotiate the terms of the contract with a potential award to occur then at that January meeting.
all right, let's hold it. Let's, everybody okay with moving forward? Just hold it until January to award. Okay, that way we'll have more time to review it. You can look at it, you can see if it's gonna meet what you
Yeah, I'm sure it's what was, scope was intended, so, yep.
If I can, real quick, I'm Ed Dave, I'm president of council. Chad Hunenfeld's here with us, he'll be president this next year. Steve, I want to thank you for everything you've done for us over the years. I appreciate it. It's been good working with you. Appreciate everything you guys have done as far as the commissioners, as well as working with us as well. Appreciate everything you do. We look forward to working with the new superintendent out there, and hopefully things will continue. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin, appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. All right, thanks.
Thank you, guys. Thanks to the council.
Thanks, guys, thanks for
Thanks a
coming.
lot, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Sandy, what about the record library hours for 2025? Do you have what the proposal was?
Okay, Amy could not be here. She said they would like to change the hours to 2 days a week on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 4. I think now it's open 3 days a week this year, but it was funded for 2 days next year. 2025.
I don't have any objection to having it open Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 to 4. Anybody on the board have a different opinion? I figure we have to start somewhere, and none as good of a place to start than anywhere.
Now, I don't know if we have a holiday or something, if we'll close on Monday, if she could alter her hour. Or day.
How about for now, we'll just say if we're closed on a Monday or Wednesday, we'll just be closed and won't replace it, but if they feel like we need to, then we can. You're saying like, if Monday's a holiday, if you open Tuesday instead,
Right,
I would say.
or another day.
Sure.
I think that's fair, because if we have a part-timer in there that has their Mondays and Wednesdays planned out, maybe Tuesday doesn't work for them. Now, of course, if we do this way ahead of time, maybe.
Well, I guess I look at the opposite. You're asking somebody to commit 2 days a week to us, and then you don't give them 1 day of pay.
That part-time work for them, so. But yeah, I'd be open to changing anything at it, but
Yeah, I'm
it's a
open
starting
to either.
point.
But, yeah.
I want to treat the person fairly, but I think this
Maybe
is.
she didn't want it, I don't know.
Okay, I'll move that we have the records library hours for 2025 to be every Monday and every Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Prosecutor had some surplus items.
Yep, I'll,
I think there was there something said there, I don't recall. All right, here we go. We have a laptop. They'd like to lead off their inventory. The HDMI port doesn't work. We also have an HP ScanJet 7000 scanner from 2010. They haven't used in years. I'm fine with declaring all of those items surplus. Anybody have a different opinion?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, I'll move that we approve declaring those items surplus to the prosecutor.
One second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So Sandy, did we, on this, I'm doing something, did we put time for it in October, or in January, or are we going to wait until positions are created? I know we've said that
I
that's
just-
the direction we want to go, but.
I just have a note that says officer positions in January.
Well, how about this? I will contact Wyatt and ensure that he gets himself on the,
He's on here, 8:45.
and that's on the 6th?
Mhm.
Okay, so he's already on. Sounds good. Good. Okay, I'll give an update on the maintenance position at the DuBois County Community Corrections. The position was re-advertised. We cut the advertisement down about half because it was, sometimes I think when we put out ads for positions, we make them so long that people would not want to look at them, maybe for one, and for two, nobody would, you don't want to limit the people that will try to apply. And I think with a lot of jobs, when I see that it's that long and the requirements are that long, you feel like, oh, I probably wouldn't qualify for that. And I think it turns people off from applying. So we had it with the long ad for a few weeks. We got a couple phone calls and no applications. With this one, when we shortened it, and redid it, and we upped the pay a few dollars at the last meeting. We've had, I think, 9 applications now, and several of them are quality, so we're working through that. Just wanted to let you know.
Good.
Okay, this is a question that I had for the board, just a thought and something for discussion about a potential ordinance. So we have a number of DuBois County vehicles. We have them at the health department, the emergency management, we have highway department, sheriff's department, community corrections, all these places have vehicles. And sometimes people take these vehicles out of the county for trainings or for business purposes. And that's fine and allowable. And other times I've had people mention to me that the vehicles are being taken out for personal or what potentially could be social things, just personal use of the vehicle. Do you think it'd be necessary or worthwhile to consider putting an ordinance into place, or just a rule, I guess, we don't necessarily need to have an ordinance, but stating that vehicles owned by DuBois County must stay in DuBois County, and they should not be, for example, you wouldn't want a department wanting to do their Christmas shopping and the person takes their vehicle and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna drive to Louisville and use my county vehicle because that way the county pays for my gas. It would be one thing if the highway department has to go to the highway conference, take a highway vehicle and go, or they can take a personal vehicle and get reimbursed mileage, right? I mean, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. I just want to open that up for discussion.
I think maybe just adding it should be used for official business only. And I just gotta keep the honest people honest. It doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna stop using it for other things, but at least to send a message, that's what we expect.
Should be a given.
Should be.
It should be a given. But if we have to make a rule,
I'm just
put
thinking,
it in writing, then that's what we have to do.
community corrections vehicle is seen at Target in Evansville.
I understand.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, is there a good reason for that? And, or why is the highway department in Perry County? Maybe there's a good reason, maybe there isn't. But I don't know, I just thought that I heard about it one time, then I heard about it again, and I'm like, well, something we should probably at least talk about.
We shouldn't have to make a rule. We shouldn't have to, I mean, but I get it.
I believe there's something in the handbook that addresses that, isn't there?
It's a given.
Okay, and maybe I just haven't looked into it deeply enough. I bet the perfect solution. Hey Greg, could you look into that?
I'm on it.
He's looking as you speak.
I was gonna say we should put it in the handbook, but if it's already there, then yeah, that would probably address that rule or discuss it. I'll see what I can find.
Sandy, would you please put that on the January 1st meeting for Mr. Sheriff, just give us a 5-minute report on what he's found, and then we can at least put it out there, and if anybody's watching the video, or if any of the county employees have an issue with it, they can let us
Make
know.
a copy of it, hand it out to the department and be.
Because I don't want to make it where you have to come and ask every time you go to a conference or something, because that's goofy, but.
And I'm thinking that I don't really have a problem if they have a conference in Indianapolis and then they stop at a Target on their way home, you know. Don't expect them to drive all the way back home and then go get their personal vehicle.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So as long as it's being used, you know, for official business, kind of on that trip, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, still, I mean, it is that's a perk to a certain extent.
I think the issue would be if EMA went to the winter concert in Evansville, and that was their only purpose.
Right.
And then they drove back here.
I agree.
That's the kind of thing. Well, good. I just wanted to bring that
I
up.
do want to say, if we have people driving county vehicles, we need to have their driver's license on file in my office for health insurance purposes.
Yes, I agree with that.
We do have a couple, at least two departments here that have vehicles. I mean, have you had any problem with vehicles in your office for the highway department? Anybody? I mean, you have certain people that can drive vehicles, certain people that can't.
Yeah.
Or do all of your staff, are they all on the insurance, or how does that work?
They're all on the insurance because they're driving dump trucks and other stuff. I think we've just got 2 take-home vehicles.
Right.
and that's pretty much it.
We just need current driver's licenses and we kind of track and monitor that.
I didn't know how you ran that, if it was certain people could drive the vehicles, certain couldn't, but it'd make more sense if everybody could drive the trucks and things.
On occasion, if we've got a bad weather weekend coming up, we may have a couple of foremen take a pickup home with the saws, so if there is a call, they can go straight out from their place, but it doesn't happen very often.
Mr. Warner, you got any comments?
As far as I'm aware, nobody's taking them on personal trips. I mean, if they're in Evansville, training and they got an hour lunch, they might drive to, get lunch or stop by something, but I don't necessarily think that happens a lot. And there are some of my nurses that will go to CVS or Walgreens or something to fill prescriptions for the patients, but that is work time. So they might be seeing a health car vehicle at CVS or wondering why there's a CVS vehicle. There's reasons behind it, but as far as I'm aware, none of mine are using it for personal use.
But in that case, even with CVS, it's within the county. I'm talking about if they were being seen at the CVS in Pike County, then that might be.
I am not aware of anything like that happening at the health department.
Okay.
Do they have to sign them in and out or anything?
We have a log in every single vehicle where they go,
Okay.
their starting mileage and their ending mileage. If anybody wants to see it, they're more than happy to look through the hundreds of pages.
I was just curious. I think it's just a good thing to have.
Yes, so we keep a log. They leave, I leave the health department, I write down my mileage was 5,982, and I drive back and 5,987, whatever.
Well, the good thing then is if somebody does see a health department vehicle in Pike County, he can go back to his log and say, here's why they were there.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I don't think we need to beat it up any more than that.
I can provide you an update unless you want to wait till January.
I want to wait till January. We got limited time, I apologize. 9:15, we have a change order for building renovations. About the pre-to-3 interlocal agreement.
Was it in the handbook?
It's already in the hand. There we go.
I want the update.
Morning, Sean Warner, DuBois County Health Department. Which one do you want to do first?
Actually, I have three of them. I had one.
Greg, did one over the weekend for me real quick.
Well, first one, did everybody get a copy of the training room policy? So
That's the one that Greg did over the weekend real quick for me.
Yeah, we just did it,
So we felt like we had the training room pretty well completed. Wanted to open up to, county offices that would need meeting space. We struggled sometimes to find a spot that was readily available and free in Jasper, and everybody charges for a meeting room now, so we felt like that would be an asset to the county offices to be able to use, and, even some of our partners like Purdue and many of those nonprofits that may want to use it for training, more specifically for public health, but we're not going to limit it to that. We just felt like we wanted some kind of a user agreement that they know that they're signing up for, and they need to replace anything that they broke or anything like that. So.
all right, I have a few questions. I did read it. The first one, is there a fee schedule?
We're not charging for it
Fees, okay, I missed
unless
one.
you suggest we charge, but we feel like we don't want to charge, because we use two different grants to pay for it, so we felt like we shouldn't be profiting off of grant funding. And it's, I wouldn't feel like I would charge Chad Bussner for the commissioners to come use my space. It's county to county, so most of the time, most of it probably non-profits or partners, so we felt like it's a benefit, not to charge.
So the only other, so along that same line, we also don't have a deposit required. So I just would hate if somebody would go in and they would damage something, you've got nothing to hold them on. I'm just trying to think, is this gonna have a cooking space?
It has, full kitchen.
It's gonna be large enough for a cooking training if Purdue Extension wanted to have a cooking.
They've already reached out.
So I'm just thinking, if they light a fire, a person that cooks, and they have too much olive oil around it sparks or whatever, we don't have a deposit, we don't have anything to hold them to other than this says that they're gonna be responsible for it. That's I'm risk averse. So yes, I don't wanna charge anybody anything, and if everybody would be financially responsible for whatever damage they do, then that would be something to think about, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you put $100 deposit down, if you have a fire there, you're not gonna get anything replaced for $100.
I think it's probably more likely that a hole gets poked in the wall and they trash, but.
I mean, normal stuff like that, I typically fix myself, but
Okay, so that's just something to think about. Under item number 4, Mr. Schneider, should we add one bit to the underlying part where it says user shall reimburse the department for damages to the facility or equipment resulting from the use of the same? Can we also add in costs associated with collection?
Yep.
And the reason for that is, again, somebody lights the place on fire and we have to sue them and we have to go after them. There's costs associated with that, and the way it's written now, they would only be responsible for the damage. So if we had to hire an attorney or something, it costs $600, it'd be part of that. You have a problem with that?
Okay.
Do you have a problem with that? No. Anybody on the board? Okay with that? Okay, and then,
So that was just adding the cost of collection to that.
yeah, costs associated with collection.
What number was that?
4.
Pull it up, number 4. Thank you.
And you have the no general admission fees, may be charged or collected. And the only thing I was thinking there is what if, look at this, if somebody did something and it was a paid training, like Surf Safe, right? They charge, is that what it's called? They charge a fee for that, and what if they held that class there? Is that an issue?
If somebody's using it to collect their own fees,
Yes.
they would, like if Purdue Extension uses it and they have to put in a class or they charge $5 a class, they're gonna be the ones collecting the money and responsible for that. We wouldn't take a cut of that or have anything to do with funding.
It just says no general admission fees may be charged or collected.
I guess that would be for us charging them admission fee to get in.
Mr. Chair, what was the intent of that line?
The intent was that they were not charging anyone, they were not making money off of utilizing our space.
I mean, we do serve safe classes in there. We charge $26 a proctor the exam, but that's for the exam, not for the use of the training room.
Again, I just wanted it to be clear. It doesn't seem like it's clear to me. So what are you trying to ban? Or was this your language or is this Mr. Schneider's language?
Here's mine.
So what are you trying to preclude people from doing?
I mean, if we're letting them use it for free, then they weren't charging $10 a head to come and attend their event.
Making money off of using our room.
Yeah.
But if they have a class they charge an admission fee for, then is that a problem?
That's kind of what I was
We can eliminate it and just say that they can do whatever they want to do. It's fine. We're not making anything still.
I mean, the idea is we don't want to have a set up store in there and just have the general public coming by things or paying $5 to get in to look around.
Yeah.
But I do agree, I think Purdue charges the cost of the class.
Yeah.
I would assume a number of the classes that get used in there, there's a using fee.
Yeah, but we don't collect anything off that though, so.
Right. I think this is saying that those people,
Couldn't charge anything.
and I think they should be able to if there's a cost associated with it.
We can eliminate that.
And then what are highly flammable candles as opposed to other candles? That's just a, do you have any idea? I'll pretend I didn't ask, don't worry about it.
Extra wax.
Because the next line says no open flames of any kind, including candles, so I don't know what a highly flammable candle is. So there's no fireworks, explosives, or highly flammable candles.
I think
highly flammable,
wow. Maybe like a Roman.
Like a,
I mean, that's how I would describe it.
I actually thought that, I mean, but fireworks is already listed, so we'll just leave it there, I'm sure it means something. So I would think with that one change of the
My
collection
belief
costs.
was, is if somebody wanted to have a birthday cake and have candles, then they wouldn't be highly flammable maybe.
The ones that you can't blow out, that keeps coming back on, maybe that's highly flammable.
So the candles is listed at the next bullet point, so I didn't know why it was on there. Again, maybe I'm a little too. So do what you want with the, I guess we'll remove the general admission fees line and add the cost associated with collection. Other than that, I'm fine with the document. Anybody else have any feedback? Okay. I'll move that we approve the training room policy and agreement with the changes noted.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. All right, what's the next one, sir?
We'll do the change order, so this is the second change order for the construction of this room we just talked about. It was kind of unforeseen expenses whenever 911 finally moved out and their electronic wall was completely removed. I guess Jasper Lumber was under the assumption that was drywall. It was 1/2 inch plywood and thousands and thousands of screw holes because everything was screwed to the wall. And it was not, I guess, in their scope of work because they didn't realize it was plywood instead of drywall. So it was nearly impossible for them to make patching. So they had to bring in 1/4 inch drywall, covered up, mudded, painted, all that expense was an additional charge. So the extra invoice, I think Sandy had sent a copy. If you don't have it, here's a copy of the invoice. And then the change order was for an additional $5,110.99. So they added to change order, and that's what we need to get approved to be able to pay final invoices with Jasper Lumber. And then the room will be completely paid for. There's a few minor little tweaks that have to come back and fix, but other than that, it turned out pretty good.
You can add it back. Any changes, concerns? No. I move that we approve Mr. Werner signing the change order and moving forward with the building renovation amount of $5,110.99.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
All right, and the final one is the pre-3 contract. So we're currently in contract with Vanderbilt County. First year was kind of just a guessing game of what we thought it was going to cost and how to go about doing it. After we have a year under our belt, they wanted to change the contract, kind of how it's worded, more on the hourly rate and a few other changes. So that we had wrote a new contract that was just trying to get approved today. That is how much is left in that line item of the 80,000 budgeted. Because I know you had a question in the email. If we were going to reach that, the program actually right now is profitable because we're doing Medicaid. They're doing our Medicaid reimbursement, and they're adding that or subtracting that from our monthly bill, and they're owing us money every month. So, but starting in January, we're going to have some fees with them because of training and having to send our people down there. Because of the fidelity of the program, they want training to be done with them. So there's kind of, across the board, we're doing the same thing here as we are there.
I reviewed it.
That's great. See now.
I think, Greg.
Yes.
Okay.
I've reviewed it. I've sent my concerns, I think, when it first went out. So I think those might have been answered. Mr. Stefano, anything? Get your house better? No. Anything else on that one? Okay, I'll move that we approve the 3-3 interlocal agreement.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Sandy, can you send me a copy of that whenever either that or send it straight to, well, I guess I would need one too, but I can send it to Vanderbilt County then after it's done.
So this one needs your signature and it goes for.
Do we need more than one?
Uh,
Would it be a good idea to send two, so they can send another one back?
Yeah, they'll have to sign it and send it back, so that'd be probably a good idea. You can throw that sticky note away. I just put that in there for your reference, because I know you had asked.
Right. Thank you.
That's all I have, unless you have anything else for me.
No, sir.
All right, that's very good.
Thank you.
Anybody need a moment? Need a break or anything? I don't think it'll be too much longer, but.
You have these two, yeah. Courthouse use agreement.
All right, let's do the courthouse use agreement. Heart of Jasper has made a request for the Pamper My Princess event. I know Commissioner Huster was a big fan of that one. Sorry. Trying to entertain myself.
I have a daughter.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Saturday, February 22nd for Pamper My Princess event on the square. Please, okay, and they just want to use the restroom from 9:45 to 2 p.m. Anybody have an issue with that? I'll move that we approve the request.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We also have the agreement here for, I believe this is also the agreement for Du Bois Strong, the 2025 fee for service agreement. The amount is the same as before. Would either of you like to take a look at that? I think we just have two copies of the same document here.
No, one's Du Bois County,
One's
Pro
Grogan,
Du Bois
one's
County, and one's Du Bois Strong.
I don't think so. I think there's two copies of the same. I looked at them.
But they may have two for both. One for them and one for us.
Look at line 4, does it say Du Bois Strong or Grogan?
Look at the very top.
Du Bois Strong? And Du Bois Strong there?
And then there's a Grow Du Bois County behind it maybe.
So at the bottom of page 2, Commissioner, is it an amount of $59,262.89?
It is.
Okay.
And then that's just Du Bois Strong.
Yep.
So they are doing the Grow Du Bois County?
I was questioning why they didn't send them both, but yeah, this is, I think this is.
They normally send them both at the same time.
I'm sure we'll get that request at some other point, but I'll move that we approve signing this document and continuing the service agreement with Du Bois Strong.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Is that where
I have a room downstairs for reserve.
I did get this for you. Something for that training with our, just want to give you a summary of that conversation with him. So I guess I'll give it to you now. Mr. Craig, any updates on this that we talked about last week?
I've texted him again just this morning, I got nothing.
Okay,
So
good enough.
hopefully
Then
it's soon.
I just have it as a continuing item on my list, so I'll just keep it on there for next time. Sandy, you and I have spoken about some security issues and some camera updates. I did reach out to Astro to have a meeting with them this week, and he did respond, so I'll let the interested parties know, and we'll get together and see what we can do with that. Did you have anything else in the order?
And that's when I asked them where the other conference was.
Mr. Schneer, do you have anything from the legal?
I do not.
Do you have any contracts or anything? Okay. All right, Commissioner Stefan
I have nothing.
Well, I'm nothing additional.
Okay. Anybody from the public have any comments? We always open it for public comments.
I guess I should have said I am collecting the nepotism. Because it's supposed to go to you by the 31st of each year, so.
So we need to get that from the county council members and.
I will get them from the council this evening. I've got your 3, I've got most of the office folders turned in, and I'm getting some of the trustees turned in, so I don't know if you guys want this, or
maybe in a week, if you don't have them from everyone, you can let us know that.
I think the only one I don't have is the 2 judges and clerk right now in the courthouse, and I don't have some of the trustees.
Last chance for the public, come on. Okay, nobody. All right, we thank all the employees and everybody on the board for a good year. And, we will do it again next year, so we'll close the meeting.
I wouldn't know what it's sitting on there.
Once a year. What's that?
Here's your gift from the county.
Thank you. Gold plated, right?
Well, it doesn't say anything about Chiefs on there, so it's good.
Can you guys stick around for a minute?
Brent, Steve, how are you?
Doing good.
Hello, how are you?
My name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. I'm Cerise.
But I live in Santa Claus. But it looks like I'm security.
We're busy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.